God, I feel like I'm Greenhorn doing this. Wait, and I'm recording
Well,
this.
you are on this one.
Maybe that's what it is. It's like new to
It's
me.
not song sung true.
Oh,
What's up, Hero Stock Nation?
What's up, Hero Stock Nation? Welcome back for another episode. We have taken a little bit of time off with a lot of stuff going on in our little world right now. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to pop in. We're going to talk a little bit today about some changes we got coming up. But I guess the first thing we got coming up is I'm going to introduce Mr. Tom Lamog. Mr. Groove and Tom is going to be the interim host for the show until I can get a little bit of time to come back. He is the son of a Marine Corps veteran who served in Korea. He is also a former FM rock radio personality and from Oregon, and he volunteers with Guitars for Vets. He hosts several different podcasts, one of them being Songs Sung True, a Veteran's View, as well as the Songwriters Boot Camp. So without further ado, Mr. Tom, come on in.
Jason, hey man, I'm honored that you've asked me to step in for you while you attend to so many pressing matters with regards to Hero Stock and Ashland and all the events. Thanks for the opportunity, man.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you for jumping in and being willing to take over my spot and continue the podcast while we focus on these events we got coming up. And um, we're excited to have you do it. I think you run a very professional podcast, and so we're very excited that you're going to be the one taking over for us and running this. And um, we do have another little change. Our secretary, Anthony, he actually ended up in the hospital during their move to Colorado. And he spent a little over 2 months in ICU. And he had a dissection in his aorta in his leg, multiple surgeries. He's now at home, starting in home recovery. And while he was there, he got lucky enough to pick up shingles while he was in the hospital. So his left hand, he still can't type anything, can't really do anything, and he's in the recovery mode right now. So he's going to step away as well at this time. Um, but I think you might have somebody already kind of lined up that is a very good friend of Hero Stocks and maybe has been on the podcast a couple times and maybe has done some of our events. You
Yeah.
want to let the cat out of the bag?
Why one? Well, first of all, Anthony, we're thinking of you, and we are sending all the good thoughts your way until you get back here. So there are a couple of gentlemen that I've worked with on my podcasts, and I know that they're prominent figures here in the Hero Stock events as performers themselves. They've been out there performing. I know over at like the Nebraska Brewing Company was one place that they performed at, among other places as well too. But first of all, Matthew Jones, who is just a wonderfully talented songwriter himself, is planning on kind of like hanging out with me as my wingman, and on those episodes where he's not able to. Derek Thompson, who you've also seen performing for Hero Stack at last year's. It was a writers round, right?
Yep.
He did
Yep.
that. It was like we all know both of these gentlemen, so I'm excited to have them sit in for Anthony until both of you guys get back.
Yeah, and Derek and Matthew, they're both amazing guys. Both of them military veterans. Derek served in the Marine Corps Army, and Matthew served in the Army. Both of them singer songwriters. Like I said, they both performed multiple times for us at a bunch of our different events. Derek made the big stage last year, and got to play out at Ashland, and Matthew's played I don't know how many different events for us now, but always just does an amazing job, and they're just great guys. So I'm excited that they're going to be stepping in to be your wingman and help guide you along through these podcasts because it's always good to have another set of ears on there. So
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I'm coming in. Last year, I went to Ashland and participated in really so many wonderfully planned and organized activities that took place. And you had me on your show recently. We talked a little bit about that. But I think what both Matthew and Derek bring to the table with these interviews is that they've been with you um, all year long, all year long. They get to meet the people who show up to your events, to your fundraisers. They get to interact with people who see them on stage, and they get a
yep.
sense of who these people are. They bring some real excitement to this podcast. So I really look forward to having some conversations with them. And we know them as singer-songwriters, but they can get pretty goofy as
They can.
they put the guitars down.
Yep, exactly. All right, well let's talk a little bit. You're not really changing the format of what we did, so let's talk a little bit about how you're going to kind of take this show over and what you're planning on doing with it, and that way our viewers kind of have an idea of what to expect as these start coming out. So
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Well, as we all know, Hero Stock is tied into music big time. We've got the performers, we've got singer-songwriters, we've got bands, and they're all going to be appearing at the various activities, the fundraising events, as well as the big Ashland concerts as well too. So what we'd like to do is get in front of all of these performers, have them come here and tell us a little bit about themselves. If they've got experience in the military, maybe, share a little bit of their songwriting experience and stories. Maybe even perform a live tune would be really wonderful. So we're hoping to, get them in front of you, who, well, of course, will be attending one of these events. Uh, we'll also be looking at talking to some of the sponsors, the many sponsors of Hero Stock, and there are a bunch of them. And while they may be a little shy to come on and talk about themselves, we want to make sure you know who they are because they play a big part in the success of Hero Stock Nation and all of the things that Jason and his team are putting forward. And then finally, we're looking to talk to some of the prominent individuals who served in the military or as first responders, maybe even Gold Star family members, and talk about their experience from attending the Hero Stock event, the concert, or anything else that ties into Hero Stock. So we're giving everyone an opportunity to kind of, you know, share their experiences. And then the ultimate is to get you, the viewer here, to come to Ashland in August and partake in some of these incredible festivities that Jason and his board have put together. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. I think you kind of caught everything on that one. There's a lot of people that's like, well, it's in Nebraska. That's a long ways away. I live in Colorado, or I live in, man, I got people coming in from Arkansas. We've got people coming in from California. Like Tom, you're coming back again this year. Brian Roof, I think, is going to make an appearance again this year from California and
Awesome.
Missouri and Texas, and we got people coming in from all over. So it's not. It might be a jaunt to get here, but everybody that's come in has been coming back. So I think we've been doing something right to keep drawing the people back in. So
Yeah. Hey, so what are some of the things that happened? If you can share some of the things that may have taken place recently to either contribute to the fundraising or the awareness of Hero Stock.
sure.
Is there anything that's happened that you want to share with everyone?
We have done. I don't know where we're sitting at on booths right now, but any opportunity we get a chance to be in front of the community, we take it and we put up a booth and sell our merch and talk about Hero Stock. And we actually just got invited out to the Country Drive live event They had, I don't know how many bands over 3 nights, but they had Gary Allan headlining, Low Cash, Oak Treaty Revival. The Trainer Band was out there playing on one of the nights. Tyler Anthony, another local guy, he was out there playing. So we got put into front of a lot of people at that event. Got to talk about hero stock and that kind of stuff. And then we turned around the following Thursday. We were back out of Country Drive for their 3rd of July event that they host every year. And they put on a great event out there. There was probably 3,500, 3,000, 3,500 people that came out to watch the fireworks show.
Nice.
And yeah, we had a great opportunity to talk again about hero stock. Um, we've done the smoke off. We did that back in May, May 3rd, and we had, I think, 9 smokers come in and compete. We served over 100 plates.
I'm
Uh,
curious about that because I obviously can't attend that. But what is a newcomer? What can they expect when they show up to one of these smoke offs?
well, so we're actually changing the format a little bit for the Omaha one. We may be working with Whitetails Unlimited to do an event with them during our event. And then they're going to donate a bunch of the proceeds back to us from the silent auction and live auction. But basically, you show up, you we're changing that format of how you get food. So you buy a ticket for X amount of dollars. You get 4 ribs and 4 wings, and you can go to each individual smoker and say, I want to try one of your ribs and one of your wings. And you just kind of walk down the line, you get your 8 pieces of meat and you get your 2 sides, and you get a chance to try different people's ribs and wings. And then about 4 o'clock, the music will kick off, and we've got 3 singers that will be performing at that event. Shannon Book's actually coming in again from Texas. He's going to hang out at my house for a couple days, and but he's going to be singing up there. And then we have Brandon Hockett coming in from Western Nebraska. He's out in Arapahoe, Nebraska. He'll be coming in to perform, and then Bree. And since she's my kid, she gets to do it for free. So,
The benefits of knowing Jason Steiner.
right, yeah, you get to perform for free. Uh,
And
uh,
Jason, oh my gosh, I got to tell you, man, having Shannon there, oh my goodness, that's going to be fun. He's always
it,
a fun time to watch and perform.
yep. Well, when we were in Lincoln, the event got over at 8,
Uh,
and Dean Schaefer, our sound guy, he was in his ears, talking to his in ears, and he goes, "Hey, man, crowd's still here. They're still in it. You want to keep playing?" And he's like, "Sure." I think he put on an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minute set where he just kept on playing because everybody loved it and they just kept on cheering for him. So um, you never know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to show up. We had Miss Nebraska show up at the event for our smoke off in May. There's a good chance she'll probably be there for the one in August. We've been talking to the governor's office. It sounds like they may be making an appearance at a couple of our events. Uh,
and having the governor come out. I mean, you were Hero Stock Day was recognized, right?
yep,
As a
yep,
result of some action taken by the governor itself. How awesome is that to be
yeah,
recognized?
yeah, and it was really cool last year to get that done, and it kind of put us on a map a little bit, at least with some of the senators and the governor and legislature and that kind of stuff to recognize that we do have a nonprofit that's growing in the state of Nebraska that is impacting a lot of our veterans and first responders, and so that was pretty cool to have that happen. But we have a music event coming up July 26th. So we have partnered with the Lincoln Stars, the local hockey team, and they ran a concert a month ago with Rodney Atkins. Got to meet him backstage, super nice dude. But they were like, "Hey, we want to focus this around more of the nonprofit stuff." And I was the guy they came to for it. So we have partnered with them on it. I actually brought in all the talent, the sound and lights. So we have a star-studded lineup coming into this event that I am super excited to put these guys and gals on stage. We have Mr. Derek Thompson will be one of our performers there. Derek Stoner is coming in out of Kentucky. He's a Nashville recording artist.
He was at Ashland last year too. He performed
Yes, sir.
there, and what a
Yeah,
voice, Derek! Let me just
amazing.
tell you, vavoom. You know?
Yeah, I always say he's probably got the cleanest vocals of any of the singers that I work with ever. Like he is just pure make you melt vocals. Just and just an amazing dude. You know, a 20-year SF guy, Army SF guy. Um, Down to earth, humble.
I gotta tell you, man. It was he had performed. It was at the you know, he was actually on the ticket. He actually got to have his own set, and Shannon joined him on stage, I believe,
Yep.
trying to help him out. But when he was done with that, he came down. We talked a little bit because I had him on my podcast, and I said, "Hey, you know, Doc Goodbeard, one of the sponsors, Doc Goodbeard's waiting for me to come out there to play a song for him. Would you come with me and you know we can do this together?" And before we knew it, we were like, "Hey, come play for us too." He's such just to drop everything, and then it's like, "Well, what are you gonna sing?"
Right. Right. Yeah. He's Derek's just a great dude. He actually played Nashville last year and he played Rolla as well. So he played all three of our events last year.
Yeah,
Um,
touring right
and
now.
he's been running like crazy. Like I've seen him all over the countryside up here, running around doing shows and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's good to see him getting his name pushed out and growing a little bit more and getting more gigs and that kind of stuff. So but
Tony
yeah, he
Trainer coming in too, right? Tony Trainer's
yes.
coming in.
Yep.
Uh,
We have the trainer band. The full trainer band will be there. So
mm,
they were actually voted the top 25 bar bands by Jack Daniels in
man,
the nation.
that's an honor.
So yeah, and they just played a venue here called the Waiting Room um, a couple months ago, I guess. But they sold out of Bush Light, Miller Light, Michelob, Bud Light, and two different kinds of whiskey during their show. So
Wait,
they bring the
they have
party
a
crowd.
song? There's a song that's a bar related song too that they did recently.
Yep, damn good place to drink.
There you go.
Yep.
I wonder if
Yeah,
that
it's
had something to do with it.
yep. And they have two Marines in their band. I won't name who they are because one of them doesn't like to use that to get gigs. Is his kind of deal, his little stick that he's like, I don't want to get us something because I'm a Marine. And super good dudes, the whole band.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their their guitarist Luke, he's an amazing guy. Tony's an amazing guy. I got to hang out with them out at Country Drive in their camper for I don't know 4 or 5 hours one day, and just kind of sat there and BS'd with them and talked about what they had coming up, and they have some really cool stuff coming up too. So
Yeah. I would
super
imagine
excited.
you must have a good time getting these acts lined up because 'cause I know when I interview them, when I get the opportunity to interview some of our singer-songwriters and they share their insights, but you get to know these, you know, men and women as well too, and get to hear the stories and you know, some of it's business, of course, but you know, when it all is said and done, you're all striving for the same thing, and that's for the veterans and first responders and our Gold Star families. What is that? Did I know at the first part of the planning process you weren't involved, and then you did get involved. What was that like?
I did it for the first basically the first three events that we put on. I did all of 22, 23, and 24. I did all the booking of the bands, sound and lights. And this year I kind of stepped back and let my event staff take it. Um, just because I was busy with, everything else that we have going on. And it's fun. Like it's fun to get to talk to these guys and gals and get to pick their brain a little bit on how they started. Why did you start down music? Because music has always been a big thing with me. Everywhere I go, I have music playing, whether it's a job site, in my truck, whatever it is, in the shower, I've got music playing. So for me, getting to be able to be one on one with these guys and gals that are actually out there doing it, they're gigging and they're doing their thing. It's really cool to have that connection to them. And now with Bree starting down the line of music, I've really been able to tap into some of those resources and say, hey, man, we just got this contract. Will you take a look at it? oh yeah, man, I'll take a look at it. And they look at it and they're like, be careful with this line right here, And so
Mhm.
I've got a lot of people that I can bounce stuff off of. Bree's written with a couple of our singers. Rachel Harvey Hill and Joe Ellen Christie have both written songs with her. Shannon
Very
Book and
cool.
her are going to sit down and write a song, and um, so it's really cool. And then I get to talk to guys like LV Shane. He opened up for probably my favorite artist, Brantley Gilbert, and I watched him on stage, and I sent him a text after the show and I do it all the time. After I see a show, if I've got them on social media, I'll send them a message and just, hey man, amazing set. Music sounded great. If I really enjoyed it, I'll send that out to them. And so I did with LV, and I never expect anything back. You get some of these guys that 4, 5, 600,000 followers, and they get bombarded, or somebody else is doing their socials. And I sent him a text and I was like, hey man, that was an amazing set. Dig your music. I'm downloading your stuff right now. And he comes back about 30 minutes later. He's like, oh, thanks, dude. That was awesome. Appreciate you being in the crowd. And that stemmed into us actually getting him as a headliner this year for our event. And,
Oh,
he's bringing his full band in now from Kentucky because he's moving back there, but he's bringing his full band in, and they're setting up and playing an hour-long set for us because of a Instagram message that I sent during a show.
yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty.
So,
Hey, now, can we go through who you've got lined up in terms of entertainment? So you've got the Icebox event that's coming up, and then you also have, of course, Ashland, the concerts for that. But maybe you can
sure.
share with us all of the artists that will be there.
Yeah, yeah. So we have the Icebox that has we have Derek Thompson, Derek Stoner, Briella Steiner, and the Trainer Band. And then we'll have our smoke off August 9th. That will have Brandon Hockett, Shannon Book, and Bree. And then for our main event, we're going to run 2 nights. First night being rock. We have Shannon Book with Deliberately Broken. He's bringing the full band in for that.
Cool.
We have Die Tired coming in from Pennsylvania, which we've had them on the podcast. They played here last year. Amazing guys, amazing music. We have Gallivant coming in from Omaha. So they're a local band out of Omaha that's really starting to make some big waves up there, getting some really good recognition. So we're excited to have them in this year, to have our local band be there. And then we have Lockjaw coming in out of Texas. And Lockjaw, he wanted to play last year. Ended up, his sister had a wedding the same day as Hero Stock. And he's like, yeah, I don't think I should probably miss my sister's wedding. So he couldn't play last year. So we got him on the bill this year. And we were supposed to have a big headliner this year, and they ended up having to back out. They got a big tour. And I was like, man, I get it. Like, you guys have to take the big tour over one festival. Um, so they jumped in, Lockjaw jumped in. They're like, we'll do the headliner spot. We'll come in, do an hour and a half show. Jeff, the heads or the I think he's bass. I think he's bass for the band. Amazing dude. His wife's a veteran. They got a couple veterans in their band.
Mhm.
He is so excited to come up and play this. I just had a conversation with him the other day, and he's like, "Man, the band is so excited to come up there to Ashland." And I'm like, "You haven't seen Ashland, have you?"
I've seen that golf course. That's pretty awesome.
Mm, the golf course is pretty amazing.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, yeah. Is it true that is the camp out there too at the golf course, or
Oh
is?
yeah, we have camping right there on site this year. It's $100. Bring your camper out. You can crawl to the festival and crawl back to your camper. It's
Man, you got it all. You have it
Yeah, it's
all.
it's gonna be fun this year, And then our country night, the 23rd,
Mhm.
we're gonna have Kimberly Meyer coming back. She played last year. She's dropping songs left and right. She's just dropped a bunch of music. She's out there just grinding. You got South of Center coming in. They have multiple veterans, and I think one that's still active duty in their band. Um, and then you'll have the Trainer Band. Trainer Band will be playing there. Tony and his group. They're going to rock it up, tear it up right before LV Shane goes on, and LV will be our headliner. So I'm
We're gonna
excited.
find out. Yeah, as you should be. It's hey, you try lining up 11 different acts for all. Poor guy.
Right.
I think that's
Yeah.
when we started talking. It's like, Jason, do you need help? No, you're doing just fine getting all of these together. And here's the cool thing is that, like I had mentioned earlier, is we're going to try and get these artists to come on our podcast and talk a little bit about themselves, how they got there as songwriters, if they served our country, if they are first responders or even Gold Star members. We'd love to hear some of the stories that got them into music and how they're tying this all into Hero Stock. So that's going to be coming every every week, I think, until the big concert series itself on the is it the 22nd, 23rd? I think that's what the dates.
Yep. 22nd, 23rd of August.
Yeah,
Yep.
cool. So people get the word out about our podcast. If you are wanting to hear more about some of the musicians, bands, songwriters that Jason was talking about, come get to meet them. I'll even give you the opportunity to kind of ask him some questions and get to know him a little bit more. Now, hey, let me ask you about the concert series itself. And I know in the past you and I have talked about, looking for volunteers or just any help or, all points bulletin out to any nonprofits. Is there anything that our viewers need to know about right now that you're looking for?
Yeah, we are looking for vendors. Any nonprofit that wants to come in. You don't have to be a nonprofit. You don't have to be in the veteran first responder world. We have other groups coming in. 511 Tactical is going to be coming in this year, possibly. We have Grunt Style coming in this year. Um, Sassafras, which is a group out of Nebraska City here, husband and wife, they own a storefront down there, and they're bringing up their merchandise to sell at Hero Stock, funny shirts and that kind of stuff. We've got possibly another vendor coming in out of Iowa to sell boutique type stuff. Um, but we also have a lot of nonprofits, and nonprofits is really kind of what we focus on. It's free to set up. You come in, you set up your booth, you can sell merch, you can sell raffle tickets, you can talk about what you do, um, and really have a chance to put yourself in front of the public and hopefully in front of a lot of people in one shot and just say, hey, this is what we do. We've had some really cool stories coming out of last year. I actually just got one June. I was doing an event and a guy comes up to the table and he's like, hey, man, he goes, I really appreciate Hero Stop. And I'm like, oh, yeah, why's that? He's like, well, I was out there last year. It was the first time I went. I didn't want to go, but my wife made me. And I'm like, okay, well, this is starting out kind of odd, but okay, where are we going with this? And he's like, well, I met Javelin. And Javelin is a group out of Omaha that does service dogs for veterans. And he got to talking to the guy and kind of gave him his background and his story. And the guy's like, you totally fit for a service dog. Like, as soon as we get service dogs in, we'll let you know. They kind of figure out what breed you want, that kind of stuff. And he's like yellow lab, golden retriever, black lab, anything like that. And he said 2 weeks after the event, he got a call, and somebody had donated a whole litter of purebred yellow labs,
Mm.
and they were like, "Do you want one of them?" And he's like, "Sure, I'll take one." So within 2 weeks of our event, he actually had his service dog as a puppy, and then once a week, or once, I think it's every other week, the trainer comes to his house and actually works with him and the dog individually to train him on how to train the dog.
That's that's awesome.
And
Yeah.
he flat out told me, he goes, this dog has saved my life. And
Wow.
I,
That's the right way to do it, man. That here's the puppy. Oh, and by the way, we're going to help you raise the puppy and teach them.
yep,
That's so very cool to hear. Yeah.
yeah. And getting that kind of feedback, is
Uh,
just amazing to hear that it came from Hero Stop. That's the reason why he's still alive, is because of our event and meeting Javelin and getting his service dog.
Man. Hey, I'm going to quickly tell you my story. I met
Yeah.
a veteran, a Vietnam veteran, and I was, with my guitar teacher hat on and, made myself available to anyone who wanted to talk about guitars and getting instruction on that. And I had a Vietnam veteran come up to me and say, hey, I wrote a song. I'm trying to finish it. and I'm trying to figure out a way that I can go ahead and play it. And I thought, well, that's very cool of you to share it. He sang it. And I'm thinking, first of all, it was deeply heartfelt.
Right.
For me, I grew up in at a time when the Vietnam War was still on. And it was very special to me to hear that and for him to say, hey, can you help me with this? Showed him a few things. And he walked off, thanked me, and then, you know, I think that was the first day of the event. The second day he came back, he goes, "Hey, I want to play something for you." It was just wonderful, to see what he did with that. And you couldn't ask for a bigger smile after that. You helped me finish the song. Thank you. But it's stuff like that. You come into people not really knowing what to expect, and then finding yourself, yeah, I can help you with that, sure. And
Right.
yeah, what a wonderful feeling. But just overall a great vibe. But
Yep.
hey, that's from my perspective for a first timer. That's why I'm
Well,
looking to come
and
back.
that's what it's about, helping people. You have a talent that a lot of people don't have, and you pass that knowledge along to him and helped him. And some of the groups that do the hunting and fishing, the motorcycles, the knitting, the whatever it might be, there's so much out there that people don't know about. And Graysgate is just it's a brand new nonprofit that's starting, and it's a farm. And they're inviting veterans to come out and help on the farm. And just to get out of the city and be around the animals. And, it's I spent probably an hour at one of the booths just talking to them about nonprofit stuff and getting it going and what you need to have on your board and how to run this. And it's just really cool being able to be that person that I've already done this, so here, let me help you get to this point where I'm at,
Yeah.
and hopefully grow your nonprofit to where you're successful with it. And it works. We're out there saving lives. So it's pretty incredible. The whole thing is pretty incredible.
Yeah. And when you invited me before I knew any of this happening, in Ashland last year, I honestly didn't know what to expect. I really didn't. And when I left, I thought, I love the vibe, the camaraderie. Just, it's a warm and welcoming feeling that some people describe as, however you want to take this, a family reunion with,
Right?
you know,
With the family you like.
like the family. Like, okay, yeah, yeah. That was a pretty accurate description. And I thought, well, I really want to come back next year. And next year, with all of these wonderful, musicians, bands, songwriters, performers, all of them, it's just nonstop, entertainment. And logistically speaking, I remember seeing, the food, the rest area, the restroom area, the everything, the games, for families as well as adults and all. It was so logistically organized so well. It was just spacious and just such a pleasure to be a part of. I didn't feel like I was cramped or stressed out at all.
Right. Right.
It was
and,
really
and
a great feeling.
Yeah, and the venue is just amazing. You got the open air pavilion that we play in, so there's plenty of room for people to sit and talk outside. There's plenty of room for people to be inside. If you want to dance, we're leaving a dance floor this year, so you'll be able to get up there right next to the stage and dance while they're playing.
Yeah.
We're actually changing our vendor area a little bit. We had them out on the green last year, and they were kind of moved away from the event. This year, we're actually pulling them right up next to the building. So they'll be on kind of the back side of the music. So they'll still be able to hear the music, but it won't be so loud they can't talk. We're going to move the food trucks kind of over to the other side, so it'll still be easy accessible. Um, but the venue has been amazing, and they have went above and beyond to make this work for us, and we have kind of become their family, or they have kind of become our family, I guess.
Mhm.
With the Hero Stock brand and the way they've helped out, they want to grow the event. They want to see it get bigger every year. They're actually helping us try to book national. bands next year for our headliners, big national bands to try to get a bigger draw in for the music. And the thing is like with our event, it's not focused strictly around the music. The music's kind of the side piece of what we do. The main thing is getting all the resources out there and letting people see what all is really available. Because there's mental health stuff. There's, like I said, motorcycles, knitting, hunting and fishing, camping. Um, you got music. You've got just all sorts of things that you can do as a veteran that is free or most generally close to free, and you can do all that. And it's all right here local. Equine therapy. We've got a couple different equine therapies that we can use locally to get our veterans out with the animals. So
Some great things that are happening. How do people get a hold of you?
the best way to get a hold of me is jason.herostock@gmail. You can email me directly. You can go onto the website, www.herostock.org. We do have an info at Herostock web link, email. There you go. We'll have all of our upcoming events on there. We'll have ways to buy tickets to get in there. We will have pretty much everything we've got going on for the rest of the year will be in there. So you'll be able to see where we're going to be. And we're going to add to that. It seems like we're constantly just adding to that list of, as we get invited to do stuff. We're going to be working with the Gary Sinise Tunnels to Tower Foundation. They're doing a 5K here and they invited us out to set up a booth. So and that was just kind of a quick add-in thing. Hey, we got this going. We want you guys out here type thing. So, we've got a lot of stuff coming up, not just our own events, but then, more. We're actually moving one of our golf tournaments. We just found out that the town that we were having it in is having two huge golf tournaments the same day.
Oh,
And we were struggling with registration and we're like, yeah, can we move this until September? So we're going to do it post Hero Stock. And have, our golf tournaments are a little bit different than most. We do a blindfolded shot. So you're actually on the tee box and your buddies have to line you up to drive it. We do the potty
always
holes.
interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah. We do the potty holes. You have to sit on a toilet, sit or stand on a toilet and tee off. We have a heckle hole. So we bring in a comedian and they heckle you while you're trying to tee off. Uh, it's always a lot of fun.
Video. Yeah, we definitely need to get video of that.
It's the heckle hole. I couldn't do the video. I couldn't post any of them because he would heckle them and then they would heckle him back and it would get dirtier and dirtier as they went. So
Uh,
I was like, I can't
we'll
post
just
any
hit the
video.
bleep button. Push
Yeah,
the bleep button. That'll take care of that for sure.
but yeah, we just want to have fun. We're working with the Marine Corps League locally, the Reverend Warriors, Nebraska, us, and then one other group that we're going to put together a dodgeball tournament. And that's going to be in December, like December 20th. And it's just to get people out of the house. It's not to make money. It's a little bit of a fee to get in, but it's not anything crazy. And it's just to get people out of the house because right around that time of the year, the holidays, that's when our highest suicide rate is. And most people don't know this, but you always hear the 22 a day. Right now, it's pushing closer to the 44 a day
No.
of veterans that take their life with suicide. Our first responders, their numbers are just as high. There's first responders every day, that's taking their life by suicide. So that's what we're trying to curb. That's what we're trying to do. Create the opportunity to have fun, be around people, find out other resources that are available, and heal with the music.
Well, Jason, you know what? I really appreciate you passing the baton on to me and trusting me with carrying the message of Hero Stock Nation on. Uh, is there anything else you want to add before we kind of wrap things up? Because yeah, we must be getting close to that time. As if everyone doesn't know, we can talk for hours.
You're right, right.
And we
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
have, haven't we?
We
Is there
have.
anything
Yes,
else?
we have.
Anything? Anything else? By the way, how's your guitar playing? I should.
It's terrible.
All
I will
right.
tell you that for a fact. It is
We'll tell that.
terrible right
We can talk about that one on a future episode. But is there anything else that you want to add before we bring it to a close?
No, just make sure you're checking out what we're doing. Pay attention to the podcast. Listen in on these bands that we got coming in, because there are some incredibly talented bands, some amazing people, some incredible sponsors that we have. If you would like to be a sponsor as well, you can reach out to me directly. We do have a tiered sponsorship that we use, so we would love to add you as one of our sponsors this year for the Hero Stock Nation.
www.
Herostock.org.
That's it. And we'll go ahead and keep that site as updated with the information that pertains to you. If you're interested in any of that information, just go there. Next week, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try and bring in some of the acts, the performers for Icebox Arena, the Stars and Stripes Music Fest, and that includes Derek Thompson, Bree Steiner, Derek Stoner, Tony Trainer of the Trainer Band. So come back next week and we'll do this all over again. Except this time, we're going to let Jason, we're going to cut him loose and then bring in Matthew Jones. So join us for that. It'll be fun. All right.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, for Hero Stock Nation, Jason, thanks again. I'm Groovin' Tom Lamog. We'll see you next week.
We're out.
What's up, Hero Stock Nation? July 26th, the Lincoln Stars and Hero Stock, we're partnering up to bring you 4 amazing bands. We have Briella Steiner, we have Derek Thompson, we have Derek Stoner coming in from Nashville, and we have the amazing Trainer Band. Come on down to the Icebox, 4 o'clock to 10 p.m. We're going to rock your face off. Let's go!